my goodness, those are big. They're like weights, huh? I don't know. I'm making a big sweet potato casserole, so probably quite a few. Hey guys, it is Thanksgiving, or almost Thanksgiving. We have 15 children and we have an open house during Thanksgiving. So we just tell people at church or in the community, if they don't have a place to go for Thanksgiving, be sure to like stop over by the house. We will be there whether for the meal or for dessert or however it works. However, for their household or their family, if they are older and needing a place to go or wanting just to fellowship with some others, then we're there. So how do you feed oodles of people? There's been some seasons in our life that we've fed over 50 people. I don't know what it's going to be this year. It's always something new. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the tips and tricks as a mom to 15, how to make a large meal work without going crazy. So let's do a real life chat and then we'll go and we'll get cooking and prepping our food. So about a week before Thanksgiving, actually a couple weeks before Thanksgiving, I start getting a list of what I want to do, whether that's a mental list or whether it's a list on paper. I have things that I want to make for Thanksgiving. There's certain things that we have every year, and there's certain things that maybe somebody wants to try in our household and they need to be given the supplies and the opportunity to be able to try those things. One main reason that I want to have most of our food all situated is because I need to be present with my children for Thanksgiving. So yes, I don't want to be standing there all day just cooking and passing out, cooking and passing out. There's still a lot of that, but there's a lot more warming up and eating all day, playing games, just a more enjoyable, relaxed time. You don't feel so stressed. Especially, you can get some really cool people if you have your house open to anyone for Thanksgiving. So if you want to, sit there chatting to somebody who was a World War II vet or something like that for hours, then you may not want to be stuck cooking. At this point in our lives, there is more than one person that can cook and can help out with things, but I like to prep as much as we can. So first off, I think of our desserts. And pies for our family are really easy to make. And they are really easy to use up foods that we have or can or whatever throughout the summer, as well as being a really easy thing to freeze. So what I do, depending on the year, sometimes I just make up pies and then I put them in the freezer, just raw dough. Other years I bake it all the way. So this year I'm going to make up my pies and I'm going to put them through the oven, and then because we only have one oven, this is the first time in a lot of years that I've only had one oven, so it's a bit more challenging. So I have one oven to feed oodles of people, and so I'm going to need my space for other things. So I'm thinking I'll probably have the space for turkey that morning because everyone loves to come into a house that smells like turkey, right? Okay, so what am I going to cook? So I actually am making a bunch of pies. I have a whole video that already came out, and that had our pies that we made. We made chocolate cream pie, we made banana cream pie, we made pumpkin pie, we made cherry, we made blueberry, we made apple, and we made peach pie. I think that's it. If I forgot anything, let me know. So those are the pies that we made. We made a total of 12 pies. Some of those pies that are really like heavy hitters that people I know love, like apple pie, chocolate cream pie is a huge one. Those pies that people really enjoy, we make multiple ones of that. So we have 12 pies altogether. We have 12 pies because we don't know how many people we're getting and we don't know how we're going to have those people or whatever. So whatever pies we don't have, we will always just throw them back in the freezer or in the fridge, and then we will eat them over the next few days because we usually have family surrounding over the next few days. Okay. Now, next I want to think about what I'm making for the meal. So for this Thanksgiving, I'm going to make a turkey and I'm going to make a ham. So I know that those are two things of meat. They're not going to be able to go in the oven at the same time. So I think the day before I'm going to do the ham, and then the day of I'll do the turkey. because our family would rather, like, I could just slice the ham, have it on on like a platter, and then put that underneath the turkey and warm it up if we wanted to do it that way. So I will cook the ham on Wednesday and the turkey on Thursday. So I have that plan in my head. Now I'm thinking about all the sides that I want to do. Any type of bread product can go in a week before. So the bread products that we are choosing this year are orange rolls and cranberry nut bread. And then I'm doing cranberry nut bread that's gluten-free as well. So those are what we're going to be doing for rolls. So those can be made and put in the freezer. I'm going to do that here on this video. Let me think. Then I think of sides that freeze well. So things like if you have scalloped potatoes, that would freeze well. For us, we like to do mashed potatoes, so we will actually do that the day before. So the day that I do the ham, I will have the kids peel probably 15 pounds of potatoes. We'll chop those up and we'll put them in cold water with the lid on overnight so that we can just cook them the next day and then mix it up real quick. So on the ham day, we'll prep all that and have that there. Another thing is then you don't have oodles of dishes before the meal all over the place and you're trying to catch up on that. So those are just some advantages. Another thing, what are we going to do for sides? Sides that our family enjoys is we make carrots that are kind of sweetened. We usually make applesauce that's sweetened. We usually make cranberry sauce. We make green bean casserole. We make sweet potato casserole. We're going to make that here today. So we have a lot of sides. Then you decide whatever your sides are, what do you want for those sides? What can go in the freezer? So we made a sweet potato casserole and we made a green bean casserole. Those will freeze okay. What else did we make? Oh, we made a bunch of stuffing and we were gonna put that in the freezer. I kind of found out on accident that that can be okay in the freezer, because I was making a casserole years ago. I was making a casserole and I was like, oh no, somebody gets, I think like the family got a stomach bug or something like this. This is probably like 10 years ago, I don't even know. And I had made some casseroles that had stuffing in them and I was like, well, I'm gonna throw them in the freezer and just take my chances, because I didn't want those casseroles to not be eaten because everyone was sick. So I think stuffing freezes fine. Stuffing and dressing are two different things. I don't know about dressing. You can ask my friend. I don't know your name. Sorry. I know her real name. It's Castleberry Branch, I want to say. Might see her in my comments. I'll see if I can get her channel and link that here. I think that she said that she was going to be making some stuffing. If not, I bet if you ask her, she knows all things health. I don't. She's so sweet. So I will put that, I'll put the link to her channel down in my description box below so that you can check out everything that she's doing for Thanksgiving as well, because it's going to look a little different. We're north, she's south, and you know, if we got together, ooh, we would have some yummy food. That is for sure. Okay. So all the things that I can prep and put in the freezer, I prep and put in the freezer. Then a couple days before, I'll make, like probably on the day before, I'll make the cranberry sauce and the applesauce. And then I'll do like deviled eggs, like platters of food that people will pick throughout the day. So this video here is things that I have prepped and am throwing in the freezer to be ready for Thanksgiving. Then I'm going to do another video just like from Wednesday into Thanksgiving Day, and that's just going to be the preps that we have for Thanksgiving, and then I'll probably just give you like a spread, and hopefully I'll be able to get that out by the end of Thanksgiving. I'm so bad about like editing and whatever. It might be very unedited, but I'll try to get what we do the day before with the ham and such, and then that and all the appetizer type things, and then that next day for Thanksgiving, I'll try to like get it all spread out and how I'm gonna set that up. So this video is gonna have all the things that I prepped, a little tidbit of those pies, not a whole thing of pies. I actually did the pies on the same day, but I did do like more detailed of what I did with the pies in my pies video, just in case people were curious and they wanted like a reference and they were only looking for desserts. So it was all done in the same day, but it will be pies and Thanksgiving prep at once. So that's what we're gonna do today. So come along. I have all of these. I need to obviously touch up some spaces here, and then we'll cut these up and put them in a big pot to cook down. So having only one oven this year, I'm really trying to prep. All of my pies are going in the freezer, and then all of my breads I'm gonna cook and put those in the freezer because I'm just not gonna have the room, but want to still have those items available. So that's all gonna go in the freezer. Some other things, I think I'm gonna prep like some casserole type things and put those in the freezer. We'll take those out the day before, and then I can just kind of warm or finish cooking those like at the last minute. I think that's how I'm gonna do it. So we're gonna make some rolls for the freezer. I'm going to do orange bow knots. So I'm gonna do 1 1/4 cups of milk. I have some of this. I'm going to be scalding this, so I'm just putting it in a pan. I'm glad you got a good view of my ear. Yeah, so let's see what I'm doing down here. So that's 1 1/4 cup of milk. Then I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to add a stick of butter to it. This butter is frozen. We're gonna wait for that to melt down. I don't want it all the way done because I don't want this boiling. So I'm just gonna kind of swirl this around a little bit and get that butter to melt, or use a spoon and just. Now I'm just gonna dump this in here. There's still some lumps of butter, but I don't want it to get too hot. I'll just let that go for a minute, and I'm gonna get some orange juice. Okay, I normally do not buy orange juice, but I do buy a couple of these usually, and I have them in the freezer just to be able to make recipes like this, because it will give a very orangey taste, which is great. So I'm just gonna do 2 spoons of this orange juice concentrate. And turn that on just for a second, just to cool it down. Crack 2 eggs in here. Goodness, these shells are so thin on these eggs. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. 1/2 cup of sugar in here. I'm going to grab a little bit of salt. I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of yeast. I use this dry active yeast here. 1, 2, 3. Gonna mix this for a second, and I'm gonna add 5 cups of flour. Need more flour. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Mix this all up. And if you need to, just add more flour until it makes a dough. About good there. See, very pliable. If you don't want to make rolls for Thanksgiving, what I've done in the past that works really well is if you make just a regular biscuit dough, which is really easy, or use Bisquick, and you just add a little pumpkin to it and a little bit of pumpkin spice to it, it makes it kind of like a different color, kind of festive, really quick and easy. So my daughter here is making cranberry walnut bread, and so this is 4 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 cup of butter cubed, 2 large eggs, 1.5 cups of orange juice, and then 2 tablespoons of grated orange zest. She's gonna mix all this up, and then she's gonna add 3 cups of cranberries and 1 cup of chopped nuts. We have the chopper right over here. So we have our pies here. As you can see, she nicely did either lattice top or regular top, and now she made a bunch of circles. And so she's doing the rest of the apple pie, not apple pie, what is that? Peach pie filling there. Now, if she had extra bread and we didn't have extra filling, then we could also do this by putting a plop of jam or jelly in the center and just using that. So he has been blessing our family with all of these potatoes. Oh my goodness, look how many potatoes we have in there. We are making a massive 1 or 2 sweet potato once a year, and it is so delicious. Or normally I make it once a year. It is so delicious. Yes, I'm so excited about the sweet potato casserole. It can be crazy days, but you get a bunch done in one day, and then you are blessed by it for days to come. Looks yummy. Taking this orange bowl, and he's gonna dump that onto the table. Okay, so I'm just gonna make this come out a little bit and down. I don't want it super thin. Okay, so then I'm just gonna take this and put it about 3/4 of an inch or so like this. And then what we'll do is we'll take this and we're going to cross this over and then come up through, but don't come all the way through, just like that. And then I'm gonna put them on the trays like that. Do you want me to do it again? Okay. So you have your dough, you kind of cross it around your fingers. So you have one tail out over here, and now I'm gonna, just like you're gonna make a knot, but kind of put the tail through, so your fingers like this and the tail's like over there hidden. And those will come out beautiful. So here we have all those potatoes. This is a massive amount of potatoes. I am going to make a massive sweet potato casserole. This is a healthy version of the normal, or healthier version of the sweet potato casserole. We love this. I love this. I cannot wait for this. Yay. Okay, so she just mixed those up just a little bit. And then to that, I am going to add some heavy cream. Let's do like maybe like 1.5 cups of heavy cream. And then I'm gonna grab some brown sugar. I'm probably gonna do about, I don't know, let's just say 2 handfuls, so maybe like two cups. 1, 2, maybe a little less, probably like 1.5 cups, probably equal amounts. And then I'm gonna grab some salt. So then probably about a tablespoon of salt, and she's gonna mix that all up. So we just have these sweet potatoes in here, and then we're going to put them in this casserole pan. Then we're gonna make a nice top. Beautiful. So I am now gonna make the crumble top. So melting the butter, 2 sticks. So here is my melted butter here. I'm gonna bring this out to, where do I have room? Okay, so here I have the 2 sticks of butter. Then I'm going to add 1.5 cups of pecans that are chopped. Then I'm going to add about 1 cup of brown sugar. And then because I am eating this and a couple other gluten-free people will probably want this, I'm going to use gluten-free flour. So I'm going to do 2 cups of gluten-free flour. This is a 2.5 cup measure. So there we go. Now we're gonna mix this all up. The heat is not on this. I just have lack of counter space in the house right now. This is just kind of making like a crumble top for your casserole. Yum. Beautiful. All right, let's go over to the casserole. Okay, so here's the sweet potatoes that we just put in here. Now this is the crumb topping we just made, and we're just gonna put this all around here. I know you die-hard marshmallow people are probably cringing at this healthier version, but it is so good. This is my all-time favorite. If you didn't want the brown sugar, I have also done this with maple syrup inside of the casserole, or you could use the Swerve brown sugar for either. But it's, I mean, sweet potatoes are a little bit higher carb, but not as bad as regular potatoes. Anyway, isn't that gorgeous, guys? I'm actually gonna take aluminum foil and put it over here and work on my next prep for Thanksgiving. Okay, I am now going to make some gluten-free cranberry bread. So I am going to put in 1/4 cup of butter softened. Then I'm going to take and put 1 cup of sugar. I use the orange juice stuff here instead of orange juice. Now I need 1 egg. I'm gonna do 1 egg. Let's do a teaspoon of baking powder. I feel like my measuring spoons always go missing. I have 2 sets of like metal ones, but I can never find those ones. And then 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Then I'm going to do some cinnamon. I'll just shake that in. Then I'm going to add, let's see, 2 cups of gluten-free flour. So for me, I don't know what my daughter's going to do, but this will kind of be my bread for Thanksgiving, which I'm pretty excited about. I love cranberry nut bread. All right. I'm doing 2 cups of this. So I'm going to let this mix for a couple more minutes. I might put a little more orange juice in there because that's my liquid for it, and then see how it comes out. I gotta grab my cranberries and chop those. So my daughter is making, unfortunately, my daughter went low, so she had to try one of the treats. What do you think?
Yeah.
My daughter here is making green bean casserole. She's just doing it from a can, just like the directions on the label. So she's just following the directions on here. So I think she has 3 cans of green beans here. She's using all store-bought ingredients. You can very easily make this from scratch as well. She just chose to do it that way. And so she's just following the directions on the back. A cream of soup. She's using cream of celery here. Does your family enjoy green bean casserole? I had never had it until I was much older, probably almost 30. I had never had green bean casserole. If you've never had it, let me know, because everyone was like, you've never had green bean casserole? I'm like, yeah, no. So then she's just putting a cup of milk in there, and she's gonna mix this all up. And then we usually mix a little bit of the onions in with the mix, and then the day of we'll bake it and then top it the last few minutes with the rest of the French onions. If you guys do not know this, Those little French onion things are pretty good in a salad. One day I was just like, I don't know. I had a bunch of like half containers of these. I don't know how. And I was like, I'm going to throw these on top of my salad. And they were really good. So she's just going to toss this in, and then we're going to cover it over with aluminum foil, and we're going to freeze it like that. We are not cooking this. If we were using like fresh green beans, then I would cook those first. But with the canned green beans, we're just going to have it like that. So we're going to cover this over. We'll pull it out the day before. So I mixed walnuts and cranberries in here. I did a cup and a half roughly of cranberries, and then probably about a cup of walnuts. I need the lid on. Looks good. So dump that out, just shoving this in here. And then when I have some room in the oven, I'll throw that in. So she is just sauteing the onions and the celery to make boxes. So these pies are done. This is pumpkin pie. This is the peach pie, apple pie, cherry pie, apple pie, and blueberry pie. Then we have the 3 little souffles that we have. We'll just top these. These can be gluten-free. Those can just get topped with Cool Whip. And then these are the tarts. The tarts we'll eat over the next couple days, and then we'll put aluminum foil over the pies and throw those in the freezer. She is just sauteing the onions and the celery to make box stuffing. So she's just putting some stuffing in there. Put the lid over that, and then maybe we'll put another one. That's and another one like. So the carrots here are cooked, and she put some butter and brown sugar in here. We're gonna put a lid over it, and then that is all ready. You can either dump it in a pot or microwave that. So that is about it for prep for the day. It didn't really take too long. It took about half a day to get the pies done and these other things. Maybe 3 hours, something like that. Multiple people. We were also doing other things, so it's hard to tell like if I was actually focused just on this, how long it would have taken. But yeah, so that's all done, all in the freezer, and I'll show you how I pull it all together on Thanksgiving. I will try to upload later in the day, just the day before Thanksgiving and then the beginning of Thanksgiving for y'all. So I will see you then. Hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day.